All right, so let's get started. I think we have few students so far. Selena also joined. Yes, how are you, Sister Selena? All right. So if you have any problem with your microphone, please fix it so that we can talk during the session. Um, so let's start. Let me create a note here. So it's today's May 28th. 28. Set the file. And today is, I believe, the group session 7. So we have total 10 group sessions. Today's group session 7. Can someone please confirm that you can see my screen and hear me well?
I can see your screen and
Right,
hear you.
All right, thanks. Okay, let's work here. So last session we have covered. Okay, why don't you briefly explain what you have covered in the class in last two classes? Can someone please briefly explain what you did in the class? I mean, with Brother Tariq.
I remember like Saturday we did the methods, and Sunday I actually dropped out of class because I joined a little late and I was lost. I asked actually on the chat that I was lost, but nobody replied or answered, and I had no clue what he was doing.
Okay.
It seemed like
So
it was
Saturday
something with the MySQL,
Was that?
something. I think with MySQL he was doing something.
Okay. So you have covered method then that we already covered on the last session, right?
Yes.
So how about array? Did he ever cover array?
Yes, he covered arrays.
Okay. So he covered already array, and in group session we never discussed about array. So we can start with array before we start about the object. I mean, before we start object, we should cover array. Okay. So let's start with array, and then we'll go to object. So in last session, we have discussed field and method, right? And today, so I missed array here. I forgot to include array here. So somewhere I should include array, so we can add it here, right? So array, then we talked about class members in our previous session. Today, after explaining array, I will start with object, and then so on, right? Okay, so let's start. So what is an array? Who can explain briefly if you know, if you don't know, it's fine. Of your understanding, what is an array?
I mean, from what I know, I think array is just if you're dividing up something or storing multiple things into one thing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you are right. So an ability to keep multiple value in a single variable of the same type, right? You cannot keep multiple types, right? So that is an array. So if I write here int I equal 0 or I equal 1, so right now here int is a type, I is a variable, this is assignment operator, 1 is value, right? So basically what we did here, we are keeping a value in a variable. So let's say, so we did this a lot with string type, with with all other type, right? So now the problem came here. So now I want to keep two values in a single variable. So the picture is like this: int I equal 1 comma 2. So now my intention is keeping two value in one variable, or keeping more than one value in one variable. Let's say I want to keep 1, 2, 3 in one variable, or 1, 2, 3 to, let's say, 100 to one variable. But this is not allowing me. This is saying that you can keep one and only one value instead of one variable. Now there is now if so, the mechanism to keep multiple value in a variable is called an array, right? Of the same type. Whenever you hear the term array, that means it has to be the same type. What does that mean? Uh, if I is the array type, so you can keep multiple value, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But you cannot keep, let's say, cyber or alarm, because these are string, right? So it has to be the same type. All values has to be the same type of the variable type, right? So what is the structure of writing an array? The structure of writing an array is the type. So if we keep one value, the scenario is like this. But if you want to keep, if you want to make I an array, the structure is right after the variable type, you have to add two angle brackets, right? Starting and closing. And it can be either after the type, or it can be after the variable. Doesn't matter, right? So the structure will be int I and then two brackets, the array sign, right? Equal mu I, and you have to mention the size of the array, right? So you have to remember that array is immutable. That means not changeable. That means you have to declare the size of the array at the time of its declaration, right? So here we are trying to declare an array, right? So we have to mention the size of the array, no matter what. At the time of declaration, we have to say what is the size of the array. I mean, not at the time of declaration, at the time of instantiation. So this part is declaration, right? Or, I mean, right? I can say int I. So this I just have declared an array called I of type int, and now I have to instantiate, right? Instantiate means how to explain. Okay, so if you don't understand that term, you don't have to understand. So I'm trying to initialize some value
So
inside of this type,
you're
right?
saying whenever we use array, we have to use the square bracket? Is that what? Because I really didn't understand when the other instructor was explaining.
So you said, can you repeat that, please? Again, your voice is kind of breaking.
Array, whenever you put the square bracket, Does it mean we're talking about, or we're talking about array? Is that what square bracket
Yeah,
means?
so exactly. So whenever you see this square bracket, that means it's an array. Right?
Got
So
it. Thank you.
no problem. So this square bracket can be right after the type, or it can be after the variable. Doesn't matter. It will be same. So initially, if I want to declare an array of size 5, the structure will be int, then square bracket, um, I equal new int, then a square bracket again, starting and closing. Inside, you have to mention the size of the array. So this is the structure of an array, right? But what I was explaining, it can be also like this. So it doesn't matter where you write this square bracket, right? But the most this is, you will see this a lot and this is less. So don't confuse. Just take it out for now. Just use this one. So I'm explaining one more time what's going on here. So previously we have seen int I equal a value, right? 0 or 1. So what is the difference between this and this? The difference is here we have used some square brackets here, which indicates that if I is an array instead of a variable, it's an array variable, right? So this is one difference so far. If you can see here, this is one difference so far. And here we have to, since array is an object, we are instantiating array, we have to mention the keyword new. Just remember it for now. So whenever you declare an array, you have to instantiate with the keyword new, followed by again the array type, and again the so this part again, right? I'm just copying this part again here, but inside of the square bracket, I can mention the size of that array, right? So if I want to draw this now, I can actually draw it. Let's for some visualization. Let's this is my array. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Uh, so this is my array. So whatever I have declared
I have a question.
is
So
this.
if you have in the square bracket, if you put 5, doesn't it hold 6 values? Because it array 0 based?
No, this
Okay.
is the size 5.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah,
Mhm.
you will understand once I explain this.
Okay.
So let's say my plan is to keep 5 value inside of this array, right? So just give me 5 value. Can you just give 5 int value type? Yes, sister.
9, 4,
9. All right, 9,
4,
4, and what?
25.
25.
I would say 47, 32.
Okay. All right. So now I have 5 values. My plan is to keep this 5 inside of my array, right? So these are my data, right? Okay. So now I'm keeping those value 9. Then I have 4. Then I have 25, and I have 47, and I have 42. So this is the scenario, right? And as we know that, okay, so the one new information is index, whatever you mentioned, it starts from 0, right? So in array, every array box here has an address. That address is called an index, right? So now I'm just keeping this 5 value inside of this array. I just declared an array of size 5, right? And then after declaration, what is my next job? My next job is to keep this value inside of this array. So how can I keep this value inside of this array? As we know, each box or each cell of the array has an address, and the address is called index, and the index starts from 0. So what is the scenario here? This is the index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2, right? This is index 3, and this is index 4, right? So index 0 to 4 in an array of size 5, correct? So now how can I keep this keep 9 in index 0 of this I array, right? So if I confused you, actually change the name to, let's say, my array, right? Just call it my array. So now my array is an array, and I want to keep number 9 in index 0. So what is the syntax? Syntax will be my array, and then a square bracket, index 0 equal number 9, right? And second, so I want to keep 25, right, in index 2. Can someone help me do that?
So your screen is actually delaying. So when you are pointing at the index, we really didn't see it till later on. Just so that you know, so that when you're talking, because your screen is delaying
Oh,
a little
okay,
bit.
okay. Let me check. Thanks for pointing this out. Give me 1 second. Excuse me. What you can see now?
Are you doing anything? We don't. I don't see your
You
cursor.
don't.
Yeah,
I just see your
nothing's
mouse.
moving.
Yeah, your mouse is just frozen in the middle of the screen.
Right. 1 second here. Okay. Sister Selena, I'm giving you. I'm making you presenter, and I'll take you back. I'll
Okay,
make
no
my
problem.
presenter myself again. I think that's where we can fix. Let me check. Yeah, did you get the invitation?
No.
Okay, so that is also delaying. All right. So what's the solution then? So you get that invitation after 5 minutes. All right. So let me
Being on line 18, you typed in.
so
Yeah, we
can
can
you
see it now.
so what did I write in line
Computer,
19?
computer,
All right.
IT, iPhone.
All right.
So now we're
So
in
it
real
seems like
time.
it was okay. All right. So thanks for pointing that out. Let's start. So my plan, I so far what we did, we kept number 9 in index 0, right? This is my array. Now, what will be the syntax if I want to keep 25 in index 2? What would be my syntax? Who can help me doing this? Anyone? I want to keep 25 inside of my array in index 2.
My array, box bracket, and then 2 inside equals 25, semicolon.
2, and then what?
Equals 25, and then
Exactly.
semicolon.
Excellent. All right. Yeah, so this is the syntax. For what I did here, I kept 25 in index 2, right? Now, can anyone tell me what mistake I did here? What is wrong with my syntax? Let's see if work again. Okay, thank you. And I'm taking it back. And huh. Can you see the black screen now? Can you tell me what I wrote here?
Toyota, and now we can
All
see
right.
it as you're typing.
Okay. So let's see if it works now. All right. So what I did here is I am assigning this. Actually,
I'm
I am
sorry,
keeping this.
I can't see you. I cannot see your screen. It says I only see the Cyberbullying homepage.
How about others?
We
I
can
can
see
see the
yours.
blackboard.
I can see the blackboard, yeah.
Okay. So, brother Amit, can you refresh your page, please?
Okay.
Okay. So yes. So just let us know if everything is fine or not. Um. So the array. So we just have explained the structure of the array, how it works, what is the concept of index, and what is the concept of array, the index bound, right? And how we can assign value inside of the array variable, right? So we know how to declare an array, how to instantiate an array, and how to initialize an array, right? Yes, brother Amit, are you fine with your screen or?
Yes, I can see now.
Okay. So if I point out here again what we have learned, so we have learned how to declare an array, right? And we have learned how to instantiate an array. And number 3, we have learned how to initialize an array, right? So let's say I want to keep 5 names in an array of string type, right? So how can I do that? How can I declare an array first? The declaration is it should be a string type, right? So string and then followed by the square bracket, right? And followed by the name of the variable, which is, let's say, name array. So this is called the declaration of an array, right? So, and how we can instantiate? We can instantiate as name array equal new name array. The size is 5, right? So I want to keep a string array of size 5, right? So this is number 1, this is number 2. And how can we initialize? Anyone wants to help me? Let's say I want to initialize the first index of this my array, I mean name array. Anyone? So
I
same,
can
right?
go.
It should be my, okay, so
Name array, and then you put box brackets, 0 equals any name.
any name, okay. So here what we did, this is string, right? So it has to be instead of the quotation mark. So here we have declared an array, we have instantiate an array with size 5, and we have given this name, right? And if I want to keep this array full, if I want to make this array full, so I can simply copy this, let's say, and paste it 5 times, I mean 4 times, right? So let's say any name 1, any name 2, any name 3, any name 4, any name 5, right? And okay, and the index will be 0 to 4. So what will be the visualization of this array? It has index 4. So any name 1 will go here, right? And here 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So make it 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And make it. So this is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, and index 4, right? So let's say I want to change this value to a new value. So right now this is any name, and I want to change it to call new value. So how can I change it? Anyone? This is the old name. So the old is okay.
So old name is any name, right? And you want to change it to new name?
Yeah, so I want to make any name 4 to new value. How can I do it?
Name array.
Name array. Okay.
The square bracket, and then equal to new value. Oops, I was actually cheating from your screen. Now I lost it. And then you're gonna put new value, and then it's gonna be inside the quotation.
Okay.
Semicolon.
And then
I don't know.
and that's all. Are you done?
Yeah.
I think
So,
3 should come in there.
Exactly. So 3 should come, right? Otherwise, which value are you changing right now? You never mentioned, right? So why should I type 3? This index 3.
If it's any name for, so you're probably gonna type it where it says inside the bracket, type in 3, right?
Okay. So yes. So now I am referring to this, specifically this value, because every value has its own address, right? So we are calling index. So that address is called index in Java. So every value has an index. So I have to refer that value using the index number. So the name of this array is what? What is the name of this array? Name array, right? So this is actually called, um, the name of this array is name array, right? This name array. And what is this? So this is called index, right? So this is the name of the array and name of the index, right? So these two concepts has to be very clear. So whenever we refer something, so we can, let's say, if I tell you what is the index number of the value any name 2, so you have to tell me number 1. 1. Now if I ask you what is the value of index 3,
Any name 4.
any name 4, right? So you can refer it with using the value or using the index number, right? But this is the static one, and this cannot, I mean, this is the static. 0 to 4 is the, I mean, you can refer any values using their index numbers. Okay. So now our understanding is very clear, and I just want to mention some more thing here. So these 3 requirement, right? So these 3 is these 3 lines, the first 3 lines, right? But these 2 lines actually can be written in one line. How can we write these 2 lines in a single line? Same as here, right?
So,
So I can, yes. What's the question?
where's the index number in line 51?
There is no index number. So line 51, I am saying I am creating an array called my name array, and the size of the name array of will be 5. This is the size of the array, right? So this is not the index number. So if I tell you what is the size of this array, what are you gonna tell me? Yes, brother Amit.
I don't know when you say what are you referring to? I mean, sorry, I joined kind of a little bit late. I joined 20 minutes late.
Okay.
So my bad.
So 3. Okay. So 3 concepts, right? So first, if I ask you what is the minimum index number of this array, the minimum index number is 0, right? So what is the max index number of this array?
4.
Can you answer it? 4.
4.
If I ask you if I ask you what is the size of the array, size of the array means how many values you can keep inside of this array.
5.
Exactly 5. So how do you know it's 5? You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or
Yes.
index 0 to 4. So this 5 I have to declare, right? I have to tell the size of the array. So when I will tell it at the time of instantiation or declaration, right? So here I am saying that the size of the array will be 5.
Okay.
Right? So if I write 6 here, what's gonna happen?
Not, I mean, it's not going to pick it up because you don't have index.
No, if I write 6 here, everything is fine. So now I have one more index here, right?
Yes.
5, and since I didn't keep any value, this will be empty,
Okay.
right? But
Yes.
it's 6. So now this is the situation. You got it, right? So
Yes.
all right. So the concept is these are the index numbers, these are the size, these are the values, right? This is the variable, and that's all pretty much, right? And now, and whatever I was saying is these 2 lines can be written in 1 line. Same as if I write, let's say, int I, and then I can tell I equal 1. So if I want to write these two expression in 1 line, how can I do it? Int I equal
Equal
1.
1.
So same thing is going on here, right? So same, whatever I did here. So these 2 lines can be written in 1 line, and also these 2 lines also can be written in 1 line, right?
Got it.
So this concept is clear, and then okay, one more thing. So here we did the same. We declared an array of int type, right? And right, and what we did first, we are declaring an array of int type first, and then we are keeping we are instantiating with array of size 5, and then we initialize one by one, right? So 5 values inside of this 5 index, and the picture will be same as this, right? So, and since I'm explaining this, I just want to mention that this can be written in 1 line, right? Let me show you how. I could have written actually like this: int my array equal 9, 4, 25, 47, 42. You so this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This 7 line actually can be written in 1 line, but you don't have to understand this right now. You will not see this much, but just remember this one, or try to understand this techniques right here. Okay. So now let's. So we are very clear about this array, right? So now just I will do one more. You will help me to do it. So let me write down the question here. Um, so that's the initialize, declare an array of a character type array of size 6. Okay. So this is one requirement, and um, then the let's keep the store m in last index. Okay. and and store y in index 1, Okay. And store P in first index. Okay, so this is the question. So now, who wants to start? So first is I want to declare a character type array of size 6. Anyone? Any volunteer? Okay, so let me help you. So character type means previously we have created an array of int, and then we have created an array of string. Now we are going to create an array of char, right? Anyone?
I can try.
All right, sure.
So my array,
My array.
and then the square bracket,
Mm-hmm.
equal. Inside the you're gonna put character, so char, and inside the double quotation, put letter A.
M or A.
A.
Okay.
And that's all. Then I need help.
Okay. So who wants to try next? So I mean, it's not correct here. So who wants to correct it? Anyone?
Okay, so before my array, you can put character, so char,
I mean,
and
where?
then at the line 81 at the beginning of it, you can put character.
Here, right? Yes. So,
And
so we have to start with the type of that array, right? So you were missing that. So this is yes. So now you are correct. So you have to start with the type all the time. Even if it is not an array, you have to start with the type, right? Before you declare a variable. All right. So char my array, and then this sign equal, and then I mean, who wants to go next?
I can do the rest.
All
After
right.
the equal sign,
Can you
you write new,
new
my array,
my array?
and then box brackets and inside 6.
Excellent.
And
And then
delete
how
the
about this?
ending delete.
Should we keep it or delete it?
delete it.
Okay. And then what?
You want to store M in the last index. Yep,
All right. I
semicolon.
mean, this is semicolon. All right. I mean, we try to complete this statement. Okay. And then now, do you want to try this? So this requirement is fulfilled, right? Declare a character of type array of size 6. So we did that properly.
Yes.
So now, second, store M in the last index. Who wants to try it? You want to try it?
Yeah, I can do it. It'll be
Okay.
my array,
All right.
box brackets, and 5 inside
Excellent.
equals single quote, capital M, and semicolon at the end.
Excellent. All right. Can someone else try the second, third requirement? Store P in first index.
I'll try.
Sure.
My array,
Huh?
open and close bracket, and 0 inside it.
All right. Excellent.
Equal. Single quote. P, capital P, and then semicolon.
All right, nice. Anyone else wants to try the last one? Store y in index 1.
You do exactly the same thing, except for place it into 1 for 0 and p for y.
Excellent, yes. So I'm copying this thing. So here I'll write 1, and here I'll write y. And if I want to draw this line, if I want to draw this array, what it will be, how it will be look like. So let's try to draw it. Um, one, two, three, four, five, six, right? Okay. So 6, and just write the index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the value will be, so in index 0 I have p, so here I have a p. Index 5 I have m, so what is my index 5? Here I have 1 m. Index 1 I have y, so index 1 is here, so y will go here, and we are done. So this is what will be in the, I mean, under the hood. This is the picture, right? So is there any questions from the array? Can we, if anyone give any kind of array problem, we can solve it, right? It can be any primitive type, double, boolean, it can be anything. So we just have to understand the size of the array, the index of the array, right? How to declare it, how to initialize it, and how to change their value, right? If I want to make this y to z, I will write the array name followed by the index number, which is 1, and I can write z here, right? So if I execute this line, this array will become like this,
You'll
right?
need single quotes around it though.
Where
91 Z.
exactly? Yes, you are right. So yes, you are right. So so that's all. If we understand this, we are fine with array. Is there any question from array? If not, we can go to the next topic. So I just want to hear from you guys. Or you want me to give more examples of array?
Actually, can you give an example of how to print this out, the array?
How can we print this?
Yes.
If like
Yes, was that Sister Tasneem?
I asked to give an example of how to print out the array. I think and Selena was saying something too.
Sure. So let's say I want you to print m, right? So what will be the syntax?
Let me try.
Can you try? Yeah, can you try?
System dot out dot print line.
Mm-hmm.
First bracket, and then my array open and close third bracket m. I don't know if I'm right or
Nope.
wrong.
And then 6 there.
6.
Or yeah, 6.
Why 6?
1, 2, 3,
Because you
4, 5.
declared it at the beginning of it, saying my array, make the character of 6 or.
So I want to print this m, right? So if I want to,
5 index.
yes, this should be 5, right? If I write 6, then this will be arrow. I mean, that will be arrow, right? That will be out of bound. I do not have index of 6 in my array, right? It has to be 5. So who wants to, if I want to print Z in my console, what should I write? Who can try? Anyone?
My array 1.
I want my array 1. Excellent. So I want to store. I want to store A in index 3. Who can help me? I want to store. So this.
My array.
Okay.
Open and close third bracket. 3 equal. Open and close single quote, capital A, semicolon.
Excellent. So now you want to print it. What you should do?
Same
Anyone
as line 99. Instead of 1,
okay.
you put 3.
Okay. So my array 4. What you said? 4?
3.
3. Okay.
And if
Yes.
you want to print
So,
all of it, then should it be inside a loop to print out each character?
So if I want to print all of this, what I have to do? You have to copy this, paste it 5 times, right? 6 times actually, right? And here the index will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what will be my console look like after executing this line? It will be P, Z, an empty line because no value, then A, an empty line, then M. Am I correct? This will print, right?
Yeah.
Executing this statement. And as you mentioned, it's better to apply a for loop. So if I want to do it using a for loop, what should I write? You guys know about the for loop, right? Already?
Yes.
Yes. So can you try?
4.
For
And then parentheses. I equals 0. Comma. Actually, semicolon, right?
okay.
And then I less than 5. And then semicolon I plus plus.
Okay. And then
Yep.
if
Yep. If
you said if, should I write if or not? No.
no, I don't think so. Or
Okay.
yeah, that's all I can come up with. I don't know how to do the array.
Oh, and then you just do copy the line 102. Instead of 0, you put I in there.
Excellent. Yes. And you are done, right? Instead of
Yes.
0, so here this I will iterate, right? So I will become 0 to 5 inside, right? And everything, and this will print this also as well.
Oh,
but
then
we have
for
something
110 in the middle, I less than or equal to. Less than equal to.
Yes.
Because otherwise it goes only up to 4.
Less than, exactly. So I start from 0 and less than. And one more fix we need. Are you missing something here? Can you check? Actually, in this line.
Oh, do you need another semicolon colon after I plus plus? I don't know. I could be wrong.
No.
Oh.
So in Java, can you declare
integer.
a variable?
Integer I.
Right. Yeah. So you cannot declare a variable without this type. So int I equals 0, right? Or it could be int I. Then you could write this line, right? Okay. So Yes. How about what else? What do you want me to cover? So using for loop, you have printed this. Um, so using for loop, okay. So let me make you master of this. Let me draw something. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So using a for loop, can you add 1 with each element? So the new array will look like this. 2,
Can you please
3,
can you please repeat the
4.
question again?
Sure. So this is my old array, right?
Okay.
And this is my new array,
Tracking.
right? And so to I want to use a for loop to make this new array. So can you do it? So you can solve your problem here.
Oh, okay. Crap. Okay.
Okay? So solve your problem here. So this is
We can
old
get the
array.
same for loop from above, except
Yeah,
for
we,
the inside
What's that?
part. We can get the same for loop from above
Okay.
with
Can
the
you
int
start?
I. Yeah, okay, int I,
Int I.
semicolon,
Mhm.
and then enter, 4, parentheses, I equals 0, semicolon, I less than equal to 5, semicolon,
Okay.
I plus plus.
And then
Can you just write maybe my array?
my array.
Um, box bracket I inside?
don't you have to declare it first, my array, before you come to the for loop? Or it could be done vice versa.
You
So
can
I mean,
access it from
this
the.
okay. I mean, assuming the name is already declared, so the name of this array is my array, right? So
Oh,
you are actually changing, yeah. So you are now changing the value of this array to with new
oh,
values. Okay. So okay. So what's that? I mean, my array angle bracket I and then what?
Equals new array.
Equal,
No, just one
equal or
equals.
equal?
One equal.
Okay, equal. Mm-hmm. You said new array. I mean, you understood about the old array and new array, right? So actually,
Yes.
this is same array. We are just changing the value. So this is not actually new array. So old array, can I write old array with new value?
I'm just trying to think of the logic to access the old
Okay.
value and add 1 to it. So I'm not sure how to
All
do
right.
that.
Yeah, just come up with. I mean, what you're thinking. Just let me know. I can try. I mean, you can try. It doesn't have to be right.
Okay. Um, you can put my array, box bracket
Again,
I
my array.
inside. New my array, maybe?
New my array.
Mm-hmm.
Are you declaring a new array then?
No,
Are you declaring
yeah,
a new array?
no.
If you do not,
So
if you are
no,
not trying to declare new array, why new should come, right?
actually, yeah, no new. So only my array, and then box bracket I inside, and then +1.
Okay. Okay, excellent.
No, +1 outside the box bracket.
Okay. And then?
A semicolon.
And then?
I think that's it.
Yeah. So excellent. You did a good job. Just a little mistake here. So this
Okay.
class 1 should go inside of this array.
Wouldn't that be
Right?
making change in the index, or it does it to the value?
Yeah. So this
If
is
you do,
this is like I equals 0, right? So 0 plus 1 will be 1, right? So here, what is the question? So here I can write, I mean, whatever I like, right? So this will be considered as the
aren't we
index
changing the
number.
values that's stored inside, like adding 1 to it?
So
Can we run this in Eclipse like to see?
okay,
Please?
so let me type this here. So what is my array I? My array I means my array 0, right? So copy this. So in my first iteration, my I 0 will be, okay, let me type it here. So this will be 0 equal, I'm saying this equal, the value will be, oh, you did something wrong here. So my array I, this is the index, right? Equal, now you need only the value. You don't need to mention my array, right? So you have to say
My array I
like
plus
this.
1. Okay, yeah.
So my array I equal I plus 1, which is, oh, I'm sorry.
You don't need even the equals and the
Oh,
plus.
no. Okay. So
I'm just saying, I
so
think the 1 plus 1 should be outside is because after it accesses the value through the index,
yes.
and then it adds 1 to the whatever stored inside.
Okay. Yes, I think you are right. So my array I, which is
1.
what? 1, and then plus 1. You are right, actually. I was wrong. So this is what? This will be 1, because my array I is 1, right?
Okay.
And then plus 1, which is 2.
2. Yes. Okay.
Right? So in my second iteration, it will be this 0 will become 1, right? If this 0 will become 1, then 1 plus 1, I mean,
It will
if
access
this
2.
0 will become
1. Yeah.
okay, so this 1 will become 2, right?
Yes. Because
So 2
that's
plus
what's
1 equals 3. So this 3, 4, and 5. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So is there any confusion? Anyone?
Just a little bit, but like you say, I equal to 0, right? And then on line 148. So, and then how this my array I is becoming.
Okay. So what is the confusion? You said line number 146.
Yeah, 146. You said int I is equal to 0, right?
Okay.
But you're getting the value from that index 0 is equal to 1. How this is becoming 1?
Okay. So let's start again. So I equal 1, I equal 0. In my first iteration, what's gonna happen? So let's copy this and paste it here. Okay.
Oh,
So
is it
don't
gonna
look at
become
below.
0 plus 1
So
is
this
1?
is
Yeah,
my.
never mind. 1.
Oh, you are
Yeah,
done.
that's 1. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anyone? We will spend more time with the array, or we can start new topic. What do you guys want?
I'm okay to move on.
Oh, okay. So next topic. So as we mentioned earlier, what is the list? Here, right? So we have covered this everything here. Then array we have covered. So let's talk about object, right? So object is the most important important topic in Java, right? If you do not understand object, you cannot claim yourself as a Java programmer. So you have to understand what is an object, right? So object is, so let me give you some note here. Actually, let's after array I can start, right? We did a lot here. Okay. Uh, Here we can start object. So start here, object, right? And here, let me write the definition of the object. Let me see if I have something written here. An object the data type from which it was instantiated, right? So let's, I'm explaining slowly. So object, understanding of object, it has three parts. One is called declaration, again, same as array. So declaration, right? And then instantiation, and then initialization. Right? So what is declaration? Declaration is that, one second. That is a little confusing. Associate a variable name with an object, the type, okay, then instantiation, uh, the new keyword, keyword, the new keyword is a Java keyword, and all right. So let me, actually these are definition, but let me explain in my own way. So here, so an object, right? So what is the concept of object? So object is nothing. So what if we don't think about any programming language or even computer? What do we understand with the term object? Object means some stuff, right? Something, right? Let's say your iPhone is an object, your computer is an object, your vehicle is an object, right? So here, so same concept. If you apply in programming language, this is also object, but this is not physical object. This is electronic object, right? So object. So what we can do? So Java is an object-oriented programming language. So what does that mean? That means it, it is better. It is better to have multiple objects instead of a full a big object, right? So if you think about your let's say your vehicle, so your vehicle has many objects, right? So your Windows is an object, your CD player is an object, your air condition is an object, right? And it's not, your vehicle is not only one object by itself, right? So the benefit is, if your CD player got broken, you can change it. Or if your air condition broken, you can buy a new air condition and fix it in your vehicle. But if it's a single part, like if it is attached with your vehicle, then if a single small thing broken, let's say if your CD player is not working anymore in your vehicle, what you have to do? You have to buy another vehicle, because that CD player is not changeable, because it's that is attached with your vehicle, right? That means your vehicle is not object oriented. So it's always better if a big object is oriented with a little object, right? That is the concept. So if you think about C language, it is not object oriented language. So anything you write in a single class, you have to write in a single class, so that is very hard to maintain. But if you see Java coding, you will see a small application also has like hundreds of class, maybe 50, 70 classes. That means what? That means it is an object oriented application, right? And this application is written by an object oriented language like Java. So if you need to change something, it's very easy to change. So we will understand more, but just to give you a brief idea what is an object. So object means whatever I just explained, right? You can okay. So let's explain with some few examples. So far we know how to declare a variable, and how we can keep value inside of that variable, right? So if I now tell you um, to keep one inside of a value, let's say I want to keep a student name in a variable. What I write? I write string name equal um, string name equal, let's say John. So this is my student name, and I want to keep his grade. His grade is, or score, let's say 90. It's not a string, it should be double, 90.5. And I want to keep his let's say okay, let's say exam one. Exam 2 and exam 3, and these are some records of these students, right? So let's say I do not want this. I want something like this. I want um, this is my variable name, student record, and I want to keep, let's say, something else, int um, right, height equal 5, right? Um, okay, so boolean student equal true. Let's say these are some values, right, of a particular student. Let's say I don't want like this. I want to keep everything in a single variable, right? So I want to keep John, comma 90.5, 5, and true. So is it possible to keep? Can someone answer? So these these are some records of a student. Now I don't want to keep value in this manner, in this way. I want to keep everything in a single variable. So is it possible in Java or not?
Maybe, but not in an array, but a list.
Okay, so why we cannot keep that in array? Because
only same type values can be
exactly.
stored in
So
array.
the type is different. Okay, and list and you mentioned about list, right?
Yes.
Okay, but we don't know about list, right? We didn't go to that far. We have no idea about list, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so whatever we have covered based on that. So is it possible to keep um, to in a single variable? Can I keep these multiple values of multiple types? Yes, no, maybe.
No.
Okay, yes, no, right? So, but it is possible if it is possible if we use object. So now using an object, this is possible. Without an object, this is not possible, right? I mean, yes, list. You're talking about list, right? So list is also an object. So don't think about list right now. Just concentrate here. Now our plan is to keep all these value in a single variable, right? So that is that is the object comes in this picture. How now we can create a class, right? From that class we will create an object, right? And that class will able to keep these all values. I mean, will able to all right. So let me explain here. So now we have to understand what is a class, right? So previously I have explained the class, right? So class means um, a class is a blueprint, prototype, or a framework from which an object can be created. So this is the definition of a class. And what is an object? Object is an instance of class, right? So these two definitions are easy to remember. So an object is an instance of a class, right? So remember these two, but you will understand this once you understand the concept. So first, I want to keep all these values inside of one variable, right? So now what I have to do, I know how to create field and method in class that we have covered in our last session, not the last session, group session, the last week we have covered, right? About field, method, and inner class, right? So now we will why we have created those. Now we will see the reason of creating those and how we can create an object using those field and methods. So actually, let me do it in actual project so that you understand more. Let me open IntelliJ. Let's see if my IntelliJ is in working condition. And create a new project. Actually, create a new project and actually I can see session 6 here. Just open this. No, 5. All right. So create new project and Java project. Next, then let's call it session 7. Is it 7 today? This is session 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 years. All right. So um, new package F6, and let me create a class called student, right? And We create one more class. We call it main. And let's see if it is working. So yes, it is working. So student, right? So our how many? What was the requirement? We have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are called field now, right? Field. Last time we learned what is field, right? So these are the characteristics of that student. So name, 3 exam, height, and activeness, right? So let's create that field. So string name equal, okay, name, and then exam 1, exam 2, and exam 3. So double exam 1, double exam 2, double exam 3. I mean exam 3 score, right? And height and active. So int height and what? Boolean active. So these are 6 values I want to store in a single variable. That is the goal, right? And that's the reason I'm creating a class, right? So now I have a class, and this class has this 6. Instead of this class, I have created this 6 fields, right? So what is the meaning of the class? Class means class defines type, right? So I'm saying okay, let me. So previously we told int, short, byte, and so on, right? So these are called what? Who can tell? These are what? What kind of type is this?
Primitive type.
Exactly, primitive type. So now, since we are creating object, the reference type came, right? So in that time, I have mentioned that we have one more type called reference type. Here, reference type, right? So today we are actually learning what a reference type is, right? So using reference type, what we can do? Now we are creating our own type. So here I have declared a variable, right? Before declaring a variable, I forgot to declare a type, right? So I have to type here either int, double, or something, right? So since I have multiple values, I cannot type any one of those primitive types. So I want to create my own type. That is called reference type. So let's say I can tell student. So who created this type? I have created this type, me as a user, right? And I am saying this type, previously we used the type int. So int can keep a single integer or a whole number. And now I am saying student will able to keep these all values. So if I ask you what is the type of student record, what is the type of this variable, who can answer this question? What is the type of this variable?
Type student as a reference type.
Reference type.
What is that? Okay, so what is the type of I? What is the type of this I variable? Anyone? What is the type of active variable?
That's a primitive type.
That's Boolean.
Yes, but yes, yes,
Boolean.
primitive type. But what type? Boolean. Excellent. Boolean.
Boolean.
What is the type? Yeah. So what is the type of I variable?
Integer or float. I mean number.
Excellent. No, no. Integer. What is the type of exam 3 variable?
Double.
Double. Excellent. What is the type of student record?
String. No.
Reference type.
Type student.
No. No. What's that?
Yes.
Student. Type student.
Excellent. Excellent. Is student. Now you yeah answer it, right? So what is the type of name? If I ask you, what is the answer? What is the type of name variable?
String.
Is string. What is the type of height variable?
Integer. Int.
Integer. What is the type of student record?
Student. Student.
Student. Excellent. Student. So student is that type. This is a type same as int, boolean, and int, right? And who created student? Me, you and me created student as a programmer. Where? Here, student, right? STUDENT here, class, right? So whenever you create a class, that can be used as a type. You can create a variable of that type. Now the concept is clear, right? So if I write here, let's say main, right? So I have created a class called main. So now I can, if I write main, my variable. So if I ask you what is the type of my variable, what is the answer?
Main.
Main, right? So main is a type, right? So main defines, so class defines type. I mentioned somewhere class defines type. If I not, I should write it here. So just remember it. Class defines type, right? So this, now we are creating our own type so that our requirement will get fulfilled, right? So what is our requirement? Our goal is to keep these all values inside of one variable. So and now we have created a class called student here, student, and then we are creating some fields of this type. So let's call it public for now. Public. We can call it public. It doesn't matter. So in last class, in last or previous group session, we have learned about the field, right? So same field and variable is same, except what is the difference between field and variable? So in last session, in the after last half an hour, I have explained about variable, right? Somewhere here, here, right? So field means global variable, right? And these are the local variable. It will be within a scope inside of a method, and whatever we write outside of the method will be considered as field. So in the same way, now we have created 6 field. See, these 6 field is why we have created this, because we want to create a student type variable in which I can store all these variables. That is the goal, right? So far so good, right? So now we have declared our variable. Now how can we store value? Now come to main. Here, now we have to instantiate that class, student class. So it's same as array, because array is also an object. So you already have knowledge how to instantiate a class. So first, if I want to keep 1 in an integer value, what I write? Int I equal 0, right? Same. Now we are following the same to keep student type inside of student value. I want to keep a student value instead of a student variable. So instead of int, now I will write student, right? And variable name, what should I write? Anyone?
Student info.
Right. It can be anything, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Excellent. So let's yeah, student for maybe student. I mean, how about student one?
Yeah.
Student one. Okay. And then can we proceed?
Box bracket. Or
okay. So now
okay.
bracket is only for the array. Now we are creating an object of student type. So just the keyword
are
new.
you gonna be able to create an array though of student type? Because
why not?
But then it'll only.
Why not?
Okay. Yeah. Because array can only store one type. Okay.
Yes. So yeah, we will do that also. So in this class, just remind me.
Okay.
So student one equal new student, right? And we are done. Right. Now I want to keep the value of all this. Right. So how can we keep that? We can simply say. So now student one, right? Student one is an object or a variable, right? This is I can be evaluated as student one, right? But I was not an object. Now student one is object because this came from a class, a reference type. Before it came from a primitive type, right? So now I want to store name inside of student one, right? So I can write student one dot name equal, let's just give a name, just pick the first name from here, let's say Amit. I can write Amit here, right? So I kept the name. Now how can I keep exam one value? Can anyone help me?
Student dot exam one equals 90.5.
Excellent. Student dot exam one equal 90.5. Excellent. How about exam 2 and exam 3 will be the same or not?
It'll be the same.
Okay. So 80 and 70. And how can I keep height and active? Same. Height equal 5. Active equal, let's say 2. So now I kept everything. So I have declared a variable called student1 of the student, right? And inside of that, I kept, instead of this referring this student1, I kept all the values inside of this variable, right? So now let's say if I want to print exam 2 of student 1, how can I print? What should I write? Anyone can help? System.out.println and then what?
And then you put student dot. Did you want to print
Student,
exam 1 or?
Yes, exam 1.
Yes, then student dot exam 1.
Okay, exam 1. And that's all?
Yes.
So let me try. Yes, you are right. So exam 1 grade printed, right? So now I want to create student 2, right? I want to create student 2. So can I create student 2, yes or no?
Yes.
I have a question. Why
yes,
did
sir.
you print Why did you print 70.5? Because you have exam 111 for line 10, 11, and 12.
So
Oh,
it's
that.
just reassigned
Oh,
it
yeah,
each
it's the
time, and
most
then the
updated
70
one.
was the last one. Yep.
Yeah, it's most updated one. Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it should be 1 to 3. Yes, that makes sense though. Yes. So yes. So now I want to create a second object. Let's say 2. Is it possible? Is it possible or not possible?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. If that is possible, so the situation will be something like this. Actually, let's keep only these 4 values. So it looks simple. So if I copy this, if I paste it, right, and if I name it student 2, and if I take the second name from here, Gauhar, right, HAR, and give some different number, let's say 50, 60, 70, right, or some number 90, right. So now what I did here actually, so am I losing this information or not? That is my question. See how many variable we have here. We declare one set of variable, right? And if it confused you, let's take it out. So we have 4 variable, fields here, and we have created 2 objects. One object is student 1, another object is student 2. Now my question is, since I have declared student 2, am I losing this information or not?
You shouldn't.
Yes, no. We should not or should?
Should not.
Because
Because we have 2 different students, student 1 and 2. And
okay,
everything else.
but how many variable we have? We have one set of variable, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this name is equal what? This name equal what? Can you tell me? Huh? What is the value of this variable? What is this is a variable, right?
Yes,
Name is a variable, right? So
yeah,
what is the value of that variable?
it has 2 different values, Amit and Gaur.
So yeah, is it possible though? But does that make sense?
Are you asking
Yeah.
if you can keep it like this or no? Like student 1 and student 2?
Okay, so we can keep, right? We can
Yeah.
keep multiple values, right?
Except like
Yeah,
14 through 17 should say student 2 dot name and stuff.
exactly. We can never tell that what is the value of name. We cannot even ask. Whenever we ask, it will ask me, okay, name for which object? This Java will ask me name for which object. Then I have to tell, okay, for student 2. Then it can reply and it can reply the answer, right? It can tell me the answer. So we can test it here. Let's say if I write student, system dot out dot print line. If I say name is giving me error, right? It cannot even recognize what is name. I have to say name for which object. So if I write student 1 dot name, then it will tell, okay, now I know what his name is, right? If I print it, it will tell the name is Gauhar, right? Now if I copy this line and paste it again, and if I write student 2, if I execute the program, what will be printed? Anyone? Can anyone answer if I execute the program, what will be printed?
It'll print the two names, one after the other.
Okay. So what I got now?
Oh, because your line now, right? 14 through 17 says student.1 still. That's why.
Okay. So I forgot to change this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I forgot to change this. Student one equal
so it replaced it to Gauhar. And then when you did student.2, it was never assigned.
Never assigned. So what is the initial value of those? Initial value of the string is null. That's why null is printed. Okay. So yeah. So previously it's supposed to print Amit, right? But no one complained. Anyway, all right. So we can make it 2. And 2. And now 2 names should be printed. Amit followed by Gauhar, right?
Yep.
And now, so now that is possible, right? If I create, can I create one more object or not? So
yes,
how many objects I can create?
As many as you want.
Exactly, as many as we want. So that is the beauty of an object, right? So now you see how many variables we declared. We declared a single variable, but we are using that for as many variable as many value as we need, right? So that is the beauty of the object. In other way, if I tell you you have 100 TV channels. If I ask you how many TV do you need, what is the answer?
1 TV.
1 TV. So why you have 100 channels, but why you have only one single TV? Because here TV is the class and 100 channels will be the object, right? So the object can be run on the same class. I mean, of its own class. So this class, the TV class, can produce what type of object? The channel type of object, right? So let's say, let me tell in other way. Let's say you have a vehicle, you have a Toyota, you use it to go to gym, you use it to go to your job, and to go your school. So 3 purpose, right? Job, school, and gym. Now, how many vehicles do you need to go these 3 places? What is the answer? How many vehicles do you need? Do you need 3 vehicles or you need 1 vehicle?
One.
Exactly. One. Why 1? You just have to if you understand that concept, you will understand this concept. See, you need only 1 vehicle because your vehicle class can create those 3 objects, because those 3 objects are the same type of object, right? But here, just understand that your vehicle cannot produce a channel type of object. Let's say you cannot see CNN using your vehicle object. Vehicle class. So for that, you need now another class, because now you need to watch CNN, CNN channel or BBC channel. Now you need a TV class. So now what we have understood, TV and vehicle, these 2 are called class. So these classes can produce objects of their own type. So television can produce channels, and vehicle can produce its own types, like going to gym and going to school. So that is the same concept. So now here, if I have a student, so a student, if I want to create a student object, I can create it from a student. Now, if I have a class called employee, right? And this employee class, if I have 2 fields, let's say public string name and public double salary, right? So now I can create here employee object from my main. I can tell employee one equal new employee, right? And I can tell employee one dot salary equal, let's say, 100K, right? So here, so now if I tell you, can you create employee object from student class? No. Student can create only student type of object. Employee can create only employee type of object. If you notice closely, you will see that student has is great. This feature is not available in employee class. Again, employee has the feature called salary. So this feature is not again available in student class. So that makes sense, right? So a student can create, a student can produce a student type of object, and employee can produce employee type of object. So that is the concept of object and class.
I
Now
have a
we will do
question.
a little. Sure.
So under a package, if you create multiple classes, you can access each of them like from any place, right? Like
I can access what?
So suppose like in class student, if you go there, can you like here, can you access like employee objects?
Yeah, yes,
No.
you can, but that is not the topic here, right? Now here we are discussing about object and class.
Yeah.
Okay. So that topics will come in the OOP concept, the object-oriented language. That is the inheritance. So we will discuss that in a separate session. Okay, who can access what? So now we are discussing about class and object and how we can keep value and how we can create objects from each class. So now let's say I want to create a okay, I want to now, can someone tell me, I want to create a student an object of student 3, and I want to assign the same values of student 2 inside of student 3 object. So let's start.
Even the
So
name,
now,
even the name.
yes, exactly, name. So start with creating the object first. So now how can I create the student 3 object?
Student 3.
Excellent. All right.
Equal new student.
Equal new student.
Open and close parentheses, semicolon.
Excellent.
And
then
copy and paste line from 14 to 17 and just change the 2 to 3.
No, I don't want that, right? I want whatever. Okay, if I do that, whatever you're saying, if I do this, but later if I change something here, this will be unchanged, right?
Oh yeah.
So now I want to copy that. I want, so what should I write? Student 3 dot, and then go ahead.
Name
equal
Student 2 dot name.
Exactly, student 2 dot name, right? So we are copying stuff, right? So if I change it here, this will also get changed, right? And student 3 dot exam 1 equal student 2 dot exam 1, right? So same thing will apply for the other two. Two and three. Am I doing right? 2 and 3, right? So what we did actually, we are copying from student 2 to student 3, right? So now I want to print something. You will tell me what it will print. So student 2 actually here 1. Okay, and I want to tell here system.out.println student 1 dot exam 3. Can someone tell what will be printed?
90.5.
Excellent. Yes. 90.5. Okay. Yes, 90.5. Let me comment this
Why is
line.
that? Because you printed from student 1, right? It should print 70.5.
On line 19 and 20,
Yes.
he changed those two values.
So in line
Oh.
20, that get updated, right? So always updated one will be printed.
Yeah, but it's under student 2 though, right?
Which one? This
Line
line
number
20?
20. Yeah, you put it under student 2.
It's student 1, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it doesn't matter where you place it. So I thought when you place it under student 2, so that okay, never mind. Yeah, makes sense, I guess.
Okay. So this student, I mean this line, I mean these are separate, right? So I have declared this before. Now I am assigning.
Oh,
We
okay,
don't
okay.
even have to think about this.
Got it,
Right?
got it, got it. Makes sense.
Okay. And these are called declarations. So I can keep this actually in one place. And now we can deal here.
Yep,
Okay.
makes sense.
Now, all right. So here we did student. Okay, one more concept I forgot. So here instead of student 3 dot name equal student 2 dot name, I mean there is a shortcut, right? We could have told simply student. So this is a new student, right? So we could have told student space student 3 equal student 2,
Yeah, it would have been even better.
right? So
So
we
you don't have.
don't have to write this whole line,
Yeah.
right? So now here the concept is now we can if there is a class, let's say in university, if there is a class of 50 students, so the professor will have to create just a single class, and he can maintain their grade, name, and student record inside of this class using creating objects from that class. So professor don't need to create separate 50 name variable, separate 50 exam 1 variable, right? He's creating a single variable, but based on the variable, the object, the value will be different, right? So just to okay, here let's say if you don't see any code, if I tell you what is the addition of student 1 and okay, what is the addition of exam 1 of student 1 and 2? So how can I print that?
Why is this like this?
System.out.
I just came back, babe.
You went
Huh?
in Apple yesterday to
No.
fix it?
Was that okay? So I
Sorry, my
want
bad.
to add. No problem. I want to add exam 1 of student 1 and exam 1 of student 2. So how can I add that? Anyone? So it's simple, right? Student 1 dot exam 1 plus student 2 dot exam 1, right? So you can, I mean, you can play around with this, right? So this just create after the session when you get chance, just create few classes, create few objects from those classes, and just play around with this. I mean, values. Just assign assign a value to another variable, assign, and is it possible, can I write student, okay, can I ask, if I ask you this question, student, um, student 4, student 4 equal employee 1. Is it possible or not? Yes or no?
No.
No, why? Why this is not possible? Because those are different type, right? The type is now different. So now, yeah, so whatever I told, right? So TV and vehicle. So TV, I cannot tell. Yes. So those are two different worlds. I mean, two different. I mean, I cannot tell, like, if I have string s equal value, right? And if I have int I equal 1, now I cannot say that s equal I. I cannot tell it, right? Because those are two different types. I mean, two different types, right? But if it would be a in value, right? If it is int, then equal to, then there is no complaint because they are in the same type. So you cannot, the type cannot be different. Is this concept clear? Is there any question from this concept, or you have, what question do you have, or what you have understood so far? Any comment, question?
Yeah, thank you. It's pretty thorough. I kind of joined late, so I'm just gonna have to like watch the recording. Yeah, it was good.
It's confusing, you said?
No, it's not. It's not confusing at all. It was really
Oh,
thoroughly
okay.
explained. Thank you. I'm just gonna have to, because I mean, a lot of things being covered, and then I've been missing classes, so I'm gonna have to watch the recording again, and then try to practice on my own, and that should be okay.
Yeah, sure, why not? So what we have covered is we talked about array, and then we talked about object. How can we create object from a class, right? So we know how to create a class. We know how to create field inside of class. So now the reason we have created field and method inside of a class, what was our goal? Our goal was to create objects from those classes, right? So that's what we did today. Okay, is there any other question? Brother Gauhar, Selena, Tasnim?
I'm okay. I understood everything. Thank you.
No problem. Any other question or concern? Okay, if not, we can wrap up our session today here, and I'll see you guys on Friday, inshallah, again, and I will post the recording. Actually, brother Moshe will post the video. Will share the video with you as soon as it's possible. I mean, the scanning will be done. All right, then. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys again on Friday.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye.
You too. Bye.